Hey, what's up everyone, Morey Croson here, and it is a new day, which means there's going to be a new YouTube video by yours truly. Today we're going to be going over some banded exercises to be able to help you out with your overall sprinting. I know a lot of you guys have access to these bands, just might not be able to utilize them to improve your overall sprinting speed, so I thought I'd go ahead and put together a quick video to be able to help you out with that. If you don't have these bands and are interested in purchasing them, then you can go ahead and check the description down below in order to check those out. So as always, if you like the information, go ahead and click that thumbs up down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you have any questions, comments, or anything like that, even recommendations, leave those down in the comments. We're going to hop in the video right now. Okay, so you can see how I set these up here. These are just going to be one that have like a strap around it, and then I have one side that is attached onto, I actually have an actual piece in my wall here for these types of bands, but you can really attach it onto the actual unit. Comes with like a door attachment. You can put it onto, different types of fences, gates. There's a lot of options of what you could do here in terms of strapping it on. But first thing, I'm just doing a single leg curls, and the thing with this is, if it is challenging from a balance perspective, you can always use something to hold on to as you're doing these curls. I do think it's a good thing to be able to get this action both standing and laying down, which we'll be doing both. I'm also working on my leg cycle here. This one is creating that ability to really pull through quickly. I like that, where, as soon as I cycle back here, my resistance comes as I'm pulling and beginning this cycle up right here. But then as I come back forward and through, it's kind of pulling me forward along with that, which really increases my turnover speed overall, which is why I really like this exercise. Again, if you need to, you could have something to hold on to help out with your balance, but a great exercise to do. This one's just going to be, you can see I have the same height here. I'm just working on my abductor strength, the muscles on the outside part of my legs, and it really ends up being both sides, especially if you're just trying to balance with one leg down, just driving that leg up. And I go with both my foot in front and also my foot behind the band. When I go with my foot behind the band, I first get a little bit off guard there in terms of my balance, but able to regain that and now go pushing not only straight over to the side, but also slightly back. It gets a little bit more of like the glute mid there. So, you're working your glute med, your glute min, and so that ends up getting a little bit more of that. Gets both of those muscles kind of active there, which is super beneficial for you. Next one's going to be working on adductor strength. You can see I rose the band up on this one. This is the only one that I have the band a little bit higher up, pulling down and through, really try to create a lot of explosion as I'm pulling down and towards my opposite foot here, right? And that's going to be working my adductors in here. Those are, or your groin muscles, so that'll help keep your groin nice and strong. I also have this one here where I'm just, the height ends up going back to where it was before. Now I'm just pulling straight across out in front of my leg. Right, and then I'll also do behind my leg here. This one is another one where it could be tough to balance at first, so you might need to be holding something to get the balance at first, and then as you go through, I like to do it without any balance just because it challenges my ability to actually create stability within my foot, within my ankle, and all the necessary joints, and the ability to also control through my foot and my ankle. So I'm always trying to add more stability. Sometimes you're going to be caught off a little bit by your balance and not always able to control 100%, but for the most part, you're going to be able to get the most out of the exercise. Now we're going to be working on more hip flexors here. So first I'm going to work on that cycle, really trying to get my kick down by extending that leg out, right? I might be even extending a little bit too much there at the beginning. Now I'm starting to get more of where I want it to be, where I'm extending and then pulling kind of simultaneously there. And then I'm going to also just get my knee up to, about hip height. Doesn't need to be all the way up. And then just working on getting some extension there. You can also see that I'm using 2 bands here in the pack that I got. There's actually up to 5 bands, right? I just wanted to go through all with just, these 2 just to make it easy. So some of these, it was more difficult. Some of them, it was, a little bit easier, but I just wanted to be able to, utilize this band. Again, it has up to 5 different resistance, and you could obviously put them all together, when you actually are doing the workout. This is the last hip flexor one where now I'm working on really driving my leg up. I really like this one the most. I'd say out of all the banded exercises, probably my favorite one for being able to help in improving those front side mechanics. I just recently made a video about the importance of that front side mechanics and how to be able to build that. And that exercise is a great way to be able to build up the strength to be able to do that. There's a lot that goes into the range of motion, primarily in like the backside when it comes to that. But if you want to find out more about that, I'll go ahead and leave that link in the video up above. So now we're going to go into the leg curls here. Again, I would highly recommend adding more resistance when doing this, or I could have even probably scooted further away. But point being, being able to work on the leg curls as well. So, I recommend if you don't have access to a gym right now, there's a lot of people that aren't able to, get access to weights, or, maybe even looking to kind of change up what you're doing with some of the programming. I highly recommend implementing some of the banded stuff, some more plyometric type stuff, instead of only doing strength-based training. I do think that strength-based is super important. You can see that I have, my whole weight set back here. I got my Nordic set up, back here. So I'm always doing weight-based training, but I'm also always incorporating bands as well, because I think that helps keep the muscles a little bit better set up from a stretch and shortening perspective, right? It allows them to go through that a little bit more rapidly and controlled when you're using bands in comparison to, weights. Like when you're at the bottom of the squat, you're just not able to create as much of that contraction within the muscle as quickly, because you have to go through that whole range of motion with that resistance. Here, it's a little bit easier to get that same type of, the stretch shortening cycle a little bit quicker. You're not going to obviously get as much resistance, but it's still a beneficial way to help you in improving your sprint speed and just overall strength. Here you can see I'm doing like an anterior tibialis exercise. So I just have it on the front of my foot and I'm just pulling my toes up. I've also done this with like kettlebells and stuff. This is another great exercise to be able to do with the bands. You can see I'm definitely feeling it in my facial expression. And then here I'm working like the movement of supination in the foot. I'm feeling that in like the back part of my calf, more of like the posterior tibialis type of muscle, right? When it comes to the supination. A little bit on the inside part of the calf, and then here I'm working on like the peroneals on the outside part of the foot. I'm huge on being able to build up the balance in the foot and making sure that you're able to understand how to control through that lower part of the leg. And if you don't have the right type of stability and right type of control through there, then it really is going to end up impacting your ability to get excellent contact time, right? So, some of these drills are to help you in building like the strength in the hamstring, strength in hip flexors. That all helps with backside mechanics, frontside mechanics, parts of the actual turnover when the leg's cycling. Then there's also parts of it that has an impact on your foot contact time, things like your core, things like your posture, things like how strong your foot is. So you have to be able to mix and blend those correctly in order to make it so you could really master your sprinting speed and get to top speeds the most effectively that you can, and that will include the start phase and the acceleration phase, right? You can get to top speeds, and that's great if you can, run really fast, but if you're not able to accelerate really well, or even start really well, then you're not going to be able to be on the same level as those elite athletes that can do that really well. So we want to look into all the different parts of it, and in order to do that, we want to be able to provide a variety of different training adaptations for our bodies to be able to respond to in order to really maximize the performance in all areas of sprint and also all areas of sport in general, right? Football, baseball, soccer, all you guys need to be able to have a lot of different training adaptations that you put your body through in order to really maximize your performance, and as well as, obviously track athletes. So hopefully this ends up helping you guys out. If it does, again, go ahead and subscribe down below, like the video. Both those help out a ton. If you guys want to also get access to our programs, we have a lot of different programs to help you in improving your sprint. Really, the best one I think is the 3-month program. We have it in the description down below. We have one that has a no breakdown, or we also have one that has unlimited breakdowns. Either one's going to be super beneficial for you, but I would obviously recommend the breakdown one, just because getting some coaching on your biomechanics will help you in being able to improve your top speed, and also getting a coach in your corner to be able to help you with actual programming to make it so you understand what you want to be doing in your ability to run faster. I think is super important. So we have different options there where it's like, there's more of a plug and play option, or there's something that's going to be a little bit more customizable to you. So yeah, all that's in the description down below. Again, if you like the video, still watching right now, go ahead and subscribe. That means that you're definitely somebody that we would want to be able to help out more and connect with more. So thanks for watching. We'll talk to you soon.